I love winter. But the reality is we live in Tucson, so our winters are like spring for everyone else in this country.
For real.
I love winter because we have it throughout. Like our winters are like literally perfect. Mm-hmm. We can be out on our bikes. Ideally it gets sweater weather, and then at night it's cold. But you can be in the pool in the afternoon. Like.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What I'm saying up in here on the Bacon Bits podcast, fam, what we desire for you. Yes, I'm talking about you, the one that's listening to this right now. We desire for you to take the bits of information, because, man, I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information. But I want you to take a bit of something that you've heard on these episodes and immediately apply them to your life for success. What every podcast will be encouraging, uplifting, and informative. And fam, we desire for you to have a balanced life. Man, that is so. Just for me, that's what God put me on this earth to do, to help people balance, or another word would be juggle, all of life's dynamics. And what we're going to be talking about is part 2 of this wonderful thing called seasons. And once again, I am on here. When you heard that voice, my sweetness, my everything, my habanero sugar. Yes, that's whose voice you hear. Diana Acosta-Bacon.
It's bacon, not bacon.
Okay, bacon.
I'm trying to teach this wonderful man how to speak Spanish, and we start with vowels always.
Yes,
A-E-I-O-U. There's no A, it's
I know. Bacon.
Bacon.
Okay.
Job,
Yes, thanks, babe. I appreciate you, girl.
Good job.
And fam, we on our part 2 talking about the season of spring. The season of renewal and growth. You know those wonderful things that we say, something like April showers brings May flowers. So yes, so much going on in the wonderful season of spring, because you know the animals are jumping out of the caves now from hibernation. jumping out.
Have you ever actually seen a video of a bear?
It's a
Have
bear.
you actually seen the video of a bear coming out of a cave? It's hysterical.
On
his hair's all matted and his eyes are all crusted. It is so comical. Okay. I love the picture of the bear waking up and crawling slowly, sluggishly out of a cave.
Bear necessities.
Definitely is not jumping out. Definitely not jumping out.
But the plants are starting to bloom, fam. The animals are emerging from hibernation. Not all of them, but the bears. And it's the newness is coming. We can sense it. We can feel it. And guess what? For a lot of people, man, during this season, man, it's a new beginning, man. We just came out the winter season. We didn't have that much sun. So, it's a time for us to do some inner reflection. Some people, start getting a little bit more depressed in the winter season. So to see the sun starting to come out, and as we say when it comes to time, spring forward and fall back. So we're springing forward into this new season, and we're saying, man, let's do this.
I will never understand. I shouldn't say never, but never say never. I just can't wrap my head around spring forward and spring back, whatever you said.
Spring forward and fall back. And I think, when we think about it,
fall back sounds like a military
but we've been here
statement
for such a long time. Soldier. And in Arizona, we don't change time. So while the rest of the world is doing spring forward, fall back, we just chilling. Okay.
Yeah, but I think about in Europe, they're 8 to 10 hours ahead. I think about Australia, they're a day ahead. I think about Asia, they're 2 days ahead or something. It makes no sense to me, those statements. But we were talking about off mic, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was asking because I'm what months are considered winter, spring, fall?
Mm-hmm. Winter, spring, summer, I'm sorry, I'm having a song moment. So typically, it's March, April, May, typically, are the spring months. It's actually on the calendar. It's usually going to be March, late March is when spring actually supposed to kick in. But it's usually typically those 3 months.
Okay, so
when spring happens.
Spring, technically, from what I remember, and I think it's the stupidest thing ever, sorry if it's offensive to anybody, whatever, is a groundhog coming out of the the ground tells you whether
months.
or not winter is going to be longer or spring. Like that makes zero sense.
Right, but then once you going back to the animals,
is that right though? It's like a groundhog coming out of the ground.
Groundhog Day.
If it shows its head, then there's more winter or something, right? And if it doesn't, there's more spring.
I don't.
One of those two. Yeah. Again, it's stupid. It's stupid. But I was talking to our amazing producer about how, as women, we feel the changes in the season. We feel like a couple nights ago, or last night, not a couple nights, I was like, I can't sleep. I wasn't sleeping. I took my tea. I took some Tulsi. I had my valerian root. I took some GABA, one of those supplements. I took everything, chamomile, and I just couldn't sleep. And I said to myself, oh, it must be a full moon. And I looked out the window, and tomorrow will be a full moon, I think, or the next day. And I was like, oh, well, that explains it, right? And I just dismiss it, recognizing my body is influenced and affected by the changes in the moon and in the sun and all of that. But as a woman, we recognize it because we recognize our cycles. Again, everything is a rhythm. Our bodies, as a woman, we are, our whole body is run by a rhythm, right?
And that's the beauty of, I love you being on here talking about this stuff. Because, me and let's just be, honest and transparent. How do we base our seasons on? Baseball season, basketball season, football season, soccer season. Yeah.
When is the Olympics?
The Olympics is every 4 years.
But they have it winter. They don't even.
Yeah, Winter Olympics and Summer Olympics. Yeah, but they used to have it in the same year back in the day when we was growing up. But it's gotten every 2 years. It's 2 years every summer, and then every 2 years the winter. So like I said, unless something change.
I'm clueless.
Yeah, but
Not meaning every other woman is, but I am clueless about when season is what sport. But we're talking about spring.
Yeah.
Right? Spring, new beginnings.
Yes, indeed.
So the plants are sprouting, the flowers are blooming, and we are reminded that we are filled with opportunities for new beginnings.
Yes.
That we too, just like the seeds and the plants, can grow and come out of darkness. Spring comes to remind us that there is still life in us, even though it looked pretty bad there for a minute.
Right.
It was pretty barren there for a minute. It had nothing but branches left. There's not even one little leaf to be found. And then all of a sudden, feels like you blinked your eye, and then within a week you see all these little new leaves emerging.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing to see. We do a lot of planting seeds. This is a time where everyone is, you'll see even you go to Home Depot, or you go to Lowe's, or you go to all these, our local nurseries. And you'll see soil, you'll see plants, you'll see flowers.
Yeah.
This is a time where people are starting to do landscaping again. So it's time to get ready. It's time to nourish our soil. Hint, hint, you are the soil. It's time to create an environment that is conducive to healing and allowing growth. So just like you see the soil, you can't get any soil when you plant certain flowers. You can't plant certain flowers together. You can't plant certain, this is where we start our herb gardens, right? You're not going to plant peppers or tomatoes with, I don't know, lavender maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You have to kind of investigate what you're planting and know which soil goes to which plant, to which tree, to which, you're not going to use cactus soil to plant an orange tree, for instance. But you don't know that until you start investigating. You spend money on it, but it takes a lot. So what does it take for our soil to be nourished? Our spirit, our soul, our dreams to be nourished and produce an environment that is conductive and what's that word?
Conducive.
Conducive? Is that the word? Okay. To healing and growth. We want to continue to grow. We want to continue to transform into the better version of who we were yesterday, right? So when people look at you and they try and shame you into those horrible words, be like, you changed. But like, thank you. You're supposed to change. Hello, really. Thank you. Don't take it as an offense when people say that to you. Take it as an encouragement that we're supposed to change, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we get more sunshine. We get to look at the earth and nature, and hopefully we see God in all this. We see God. Spring is when most of us bloom. Yeah. Right? It's definitely when nature is blooming. Ideally, go ahead, babe.
Yeah, because people often feel more energetic and more hopeful. I mean, you think about it, because we go off the basic stuff. My thirst level increases in the spring. In the winter, I do not want to hardly ever drink water. I just don't have the thirst quench for that season. But I drink more water in the spring. I'm also being outside more in the spring, more energetic. I said, look, we getting on our bikes and riding, and it's just all that stuff that you take for granted. Like, man, I forgot how good this is, man, being in this season. So it brings a lot of hope and a lot of energy, and I really love spring. Yeah.
I love winter. But the reality is we live in Tucson, so our winters are like spring for everyone else in this country.
For real.
I love winter because we have it throughout. Like, our winters are like literally perfect. Mm-hmm. We can be out on our bikes. Ideally it gets sweater weather, and then at night it's cold, but you can be in the pool in the afternoon. Like, our winters are, I don't think I spend more time outside in spring than I do in winter, only because the weather is perfect. And come to Arizona, you'll be happy. You'll be blessed.
Yeah, great place to retire.
Our producer said, "Don't come here. Too many people here." But spring ideally is when we're blooming, right?
Yeah.
Because we see nature blooming, it kind of invokes something in us to plant something new. Maybe we want to plant a dream in our heart. Maybe we want to put more effort into finding ways to attain some of the dreams we've already had in our heart, and that we just didn't expose it to enough sun, and say, what can I do to step towards that, accomplishing those goals or those dreams? Ideally, we've come out of winter, and ideally we have released all of, the expectations of what we had in every season throughout that year. Ideally, we've released it, and now we've healed a little bit. We've rested a little bit. And it's time to come back to life. It's time to say, okay, my rest time is over, like we do in the morning. My rest time is over, and it's time for me to get up and be productive.
Yeah.
Not productive by society's standards or productive based on your neighbor's standards, but productive for yourself. That might mean I'm going to take a shower today. That might mean I'm going to wash dishes today. That might mean I'm going to go and work a 12-hour day. It means something different for every single person. So wake up and be productive. Figure out what that means for you.
It's a great, but it's a great time to start something new, start something challenging. I mean, deep down, all of us have some kind of bucket list. Okay. And this is part of like getting out of your comfort zone and saying, you know what, this year I'm going to try. And I'm not talking about the New Year's resolutions we be telling. I'm talking about like literally think about what's the one thing like this year I want to try to learn how to do. What's the one thing I wanted to get out my comfort zone and go travel? What's the one thing I want to learn how to play guitar? I want to learn how to speak Spanish or French or Italian. I want to learn how to garden. I want to learn how to cook. I want to learn how to take the fruits and veggies that's grown in this season and eat those and see how they taste. Try a different food for once, man. Don't stay stuck in the same category. Try something different. If you've never tried before, please do me a favor. I mean, this is one of those things I be wishing I could throw off on everybody that I know. Before you say to a new food, that's all I be asking. Can you just at least taste the food first before you say because I'm telling you, let me tell you about my They used to be but I'm like now. Avocados. I used to be like, Lord have mercy, no. Jackfruit, never knew what that was, but Lord have mercy on some jackfruit. I didn't grow up eating black beans, freaking love black beans. Cottage cheese, I love cottage cheese. It was just some things that it was the texture. Like I wasn't a big oatmealer growing up. It was malto meal and cream of wheat. Lord have mercy. But then as I've gotten older, oatmeal is one of my staples. I had to get past the texture at first, but man, after that, I'm just like, I love oatmeal. So I'm just one of those people now that love trying a dish. And even when I first try it, I'll be like, do me a favor. Don't tell me what it is. Let me taste it first, and then I will. Because I've tasted alligator. I've tasted rabbit. I've tasted squirrel. I've tasted horse. Yeah, last year was horse. And fam,
you just lost a whole lot of followers, babe.
No. Like, you animal eating son of a gun. I'm like, fam, we used to be carnivores, and I still love it. But fam, I think about that. I want to try new stuff. I do not be wanting to be stuck in a box. of just anything. Try something first. I would have never known I would have liked zip lining. I would have never known I would have liked international travel. I'm talking about, fam, there are so many things I've tried within we're talking about the last 5 years that I'm like, man, I would have never guessed that I really love that. But part of, to me, spring is, it's almost like springing into your bucket list of, let me pull something out of that bucket and actually do it. Not know, I always wanted to try. I mean, you always wanted to try, and it's been a decade and you still haven't tried it. Fam, it's time to spring forward and say, you know what, I'm finna try something different. So I'm challenging people on here that's listening to this episode to try something on your bucket list and then send us a little comment on what you tried and how did it go. I would love for you to do that. Try something different.
You call it the comfort zone. I call it the boring zone. You're not even trying. Like, you're missing out on so many things. Tucson offers 2 big events. These are 2 examples that I am always just completely awestruck. I'm dumbfounded by the fact that people have lived in Tucson for 20 years and never attended either the gem show, which is the biggest mineral and gem show in the world, is in Tucson, Arizona, and people have never attended it. They're like, oh, it's just rocks. Have you gone? Have you seen? Right. First of all, I've gone on average 3 times a week for the last 28 years. Mm-hmm. I still have not seen everything.
Come on.
But I have met some amazing people that have become great friends.
Around the world.
I have met people from all parts of the world I've never been to, and I would love to visit one day. But I get to see not only the things that come, the beautiful things that God created in their country, but also taste their food. Yeah. See their clothing. I love, most of my clothing will come from the gem show or people who provide 100% natural clothing, like cotton or linen. But you'll find some amazing things and meet some amazing people. And you've been in Tucson for 30 years and you've never even gone to one day? I'm shocked. And the second one is Dia de los Muertos. People put a lot of cultish, negative, dark connotations to Dia de los Muertos without understanding the cultural significance and the beauty of what that actually is. Tucson has the second biggest in the world procession of Dia de los Muertos that whole week. The first one is in that place in Mexico where Encanto was, where Coco, remember, you know, that adorable movie Coco? I can't remember the name of that little town. Anyway, it's Guanajuato. It's called Guanajuato. That is the number one biggest celebration of Dia de los Muertos. And then Tucson has a second one, and people have lived here all like 30 years, all their life, and they've never been to one of those 2 huge events. Anyway, okay.
Going back to spring.
Going back to spring. Like my baby said, do something new.
Yeah.
Do something new. Try something new. This life offers so many amazing textures and colors and tastes and sounds. We can spend the rest of our life searching for those. Yeah. And a lot of those things are offered right at our backyard. Yeah.
And I don't care what city you in. You know, we're in magnificent Tucson, Arizona. But fam, I would love for you to sometime on a weekend, like, look in the newspaper and see what events they got going on in your town that you can try to get out your comfort zone. And at least half, and I'm not even exaggerating, at least half of the events that's in your hometown are free. We talking about just go down and experience a different food, a different culture. Like I said, I'm African American family. I'll try a Latino dish in a minute. I'll try dishes from Greece.
You be thinking you're Latino sometimes. You be acting like he's Latino sometimes.
I'll be trying dishes from Greece, from India. Fam, I love trying different things. And so sometimes like, there's different cultures or different, you know, people are having different events in your hometown. And, you know, unless you live in a really small town. But other than that, there's always usually going on something in some people's towns. And they have no idea how much cultural things that are beautiful are going on in each hometown, and they just don't know that it's going on because it's not advertised maybe to your community, you know. But I would say, man, every weekend look at a newspaper and see what they got going on and go try something different, man, because I would love for you to experience life more fully. And you would too, but you just haven't, got out your comfort zone. So yeah, every weekend on that Friday, man, or, Thursday or Wednesday, look in your local newspaper, look at something that's going on in the community, man. And then, go check it out and try something different, man. Because like I said, in the spring, we want you to do something outside your comfort zone. We want you to try new things. That's what the new seeds of life are trying to tell you. Try something different.
My love, you're aging yourself. Who orders a newspaper? Come on now.
Oh, that's true.
Go on the internet
right.
and look
right.
up your city and say event calendar. Just go into your local city.
You're right, baby.
Or at least try something you've never been to. And, and it's, again, get out of your boring zone. And even if it's a different culture, don't be afraid. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid. If people come and they want to experience the Latin culture and we're doing a big event, of course I'm excited when people that are not our culture come because they want to learn. Yeah. That's what we should be doing. Yeah. Just like nature, the trees, the mushrooms, the flowers, the plants, all of their vines are intertwined. Mm-hmm. They don't care about which species is which. They don't cut them up like I ain't touching that vine. Mm-hmm. No. If you look under the soil, they're all connected. We're all connected. Yeah. Go into a different culture. Go check it out. Be respectful. Mm-hmm. Be excited. Yeah. You're going to be embraced if you go with the spirit of hope and new beginning and just trying something different.
Talking about a new diet plan. We talk about a new exercise routine. Take a class at your community college, man. We talking about when the last time you got together, man, and did a Bible study. We talking about, man, try new stuff, man, because I just want you to say, you know what, I want this season to be different. If you've been kind of gloomy and been kind of down, got that. But go find something to say, you know what, I'm going to spring into something different. I'm trying something new. I want to have a more fruitful and productive life. And like I said, I'm not trying to have you do a whole lot of different stuff, but at least try something different on your bucket list.
One day, one thing a week. Mm-hmm. One thing a week.
Yeah.
I'd like to do one thing a day, but one thing a week is fair. Mm-hmm. Figure out what that is, have courage, and just do it.
Yeah. Because I think people don't think about it. I mean, because, fam, we talk about the different, generations you're in. You in your 40s, your 50s, or 60s, even your 30s and 20s, man. But you always are evolving. You always should have stuff it's new in your new season. So think about it. Just in life as a whole. Because, like I said, nature around you is showing you it's spring. Nature around you is showing the new leaves, the new flowers, the new trees. It's showing you. So sometimes, fam, we need to get out of our comfort zone. It might even be go visit a nursery and literally see something that you haven't seen before when it comes to the new season of spring.
Yeah. Understanding, again, that life is a cycle. There's going to be times of growth, of harvest, of letting go, and of rest. Every phase is going to contribute to our unfolding of our spiritual path, and it's going to deepen our connection with ourselves and with God. These changing seasons can teach us about grief and death, about loss, while reminding us that they are all natural parts of life and that new life can emerge from it. So, again, instead of ruhaing your way through and be like, I got to try something now, I got to do this, instead of bullying yourself past the season of spring because you don't want to come out of winter, you want to skip spring. Identify your season. Accept the change. Embrace the season. And reflect on the blessings and the lessons. And then do what is needed.
Family, family, family. My God, once again, another dynamic episode with my queen, my girl. This is your boy John Bacon with another segment of Bacon Bits, man. Try something new in this season. God bless. What up, fam? Do you need some extra tools that's going to help your life be the best that it can possibly be? Are you constantly juggling work, family, and personal time, only to feel drained and unfulfilled? That's where the book that I wrote, called The Balanced Life, can be your guide to reclaiming your time, energy, and happiness. With practical strategies for setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and achieving real balance. This book helps you create a life that you love without the burnout. Get ready to break free from the chaos and step into a life of purpose and peace. Grab your copy of The Balanced Life because you deserve a life that works for you. Also, we have The Unraveling. It's a journal to help you write, reflect, and heal. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings deserve space. The Unraveling Journal is more than just a notebook. It's your personal guide to self-reflection, healing, and growth. With guided prompts, mindfulness exercises, and room to express yourself freely, this journal helps you untangle emotions, process life's challenges, and rediscover clarity. Take a moment for you. Write, reflect, and heal, one page at a time. And fam, also another book written by my wife is Healthy Relationships. Because fam, you know this, great relationships don't just happen, they're built. Whether it's with your partner, kids, friends, or co-workers, strong connections are the foundation of a happy life. In healthy relationships, you'll learn how to communicate better, set healthy boundaries, and nurture trust in every relationship that matters to you. Because when your connections thrive, you thrive. Start building stronger, healthier relationships today. Order your copy at kingdomservantsfirst.com. Once again, that's kingdomservants1st.com. Fam, we want you to be the best version of yourself. Get one of these books today. God bless.